Hey guys, this is Chase, that guy with the gloves, and today we're going to do an action figure review on the WWE Defining Moments Undertaker. Now this figure is kind of a re-release of the San Diego Comic-Con 2010 exclusive Undertaker. So what we're going to do for this review, we're going to take a look at the packaging and everything that makes this Defining Moments Undertaker so unique, and then once we're done, we're going to crack open the SDCC 2010 exclusive Undertaker and do a little bit of an action figure comparison. Starting up top, you can see the title up there saying Undertaker. It's got a pair of U's on there. It's got some bluish smoke billowing out of the sides of the packaging, and I think that's a really cool effect that they did. Bottom of it says Defining Moments, sort of reminiscent of a championship belt. On the side, they have a very Vigo-like portrait of the Undertaker, if you guys have seen Ghostbusters 2. Now on the back of the packaging, this is pretty badass. They have the Undertaker cross with the same blue smoke billowing out of it. They got his portrait down there, and they have a description of the match he had with Big Boss Man at WrestleMania XV, or 15. And I remember Captain McKay pointing something out about this. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, right there where it says, "Once these ultimate rivals." Okay, come on now. I wouldn't even consider him a rival, to be honest with you. It more or less, to me, it felt like their match at WrestleMania 15 was just, it's WrestleMania. We got the Undertaker. What do we do with him this year? Hell in a Cell. Okay, well, what are we gonna do? Mankind's involved in the main event, so they threw him in there with the Big Boss Man because Ministry of Darkness was feuding with the corporation at the time. Okay, so here we have Undertaker standing on the backer card display, which I think is really cool. It's got some steel grating all around it, kind of like what the SDCC one has, the same thing that the Undertaker stands on. And that packaging was a blue grate, although it was a really, really light metallic blue, where this one is more of a dark, almost purple metallic. Looks really cool. And another really cool addition to this stand, where the gold plate is, we have an autograph from The Undertaker. Obviously it's probably just something he signed real quick and then they, like, you know, copied it onto this one, but still, really cool. And just a bit of a close-up of this backer card. Damn. I really love it. I love this cutout Undertaker cross. It just looks really cool. And here's a close-up look of The Undertaker. The normal pupils versus the all-white eyes on the SDCC Taker. This one looks really badass. I think it looks great just as a normal look. Undertaker kind of rocked this look with the saber-tooth looking goatee and the backward and the ponytail with the shaved temples and stuff like that. He had this look a lot during the Attitude Era, so it'd be really cool to see some customs and stuff come out of this one. And hopefully if we ever get a WrestleMania 14 or a more Attitude Era looking Undertaker, you know, with the big shoulder pads and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind seeing this head scan on a couple other figures. Alright, now his vest and cape combo, really freaking cool. Love the way the scaling looks right here. It's just super badass. And again, a lot of this is reused parts from the SDCC one, so you can pretty much watch my review of that to get my impressions on this figure, but I'm going to go over it again. Love the way the dragon scaling looks. The chains on here that connect the vests, they look pretty cool as well. The little nipple rings on here, I still think that's a little too much. It just throws off this thing. It too jarring, too in your face, and yeah, I don't like it. The shoulder pads though, these are really freaking cool. They look sick. Almost like they're the hands of the devil and they're just resting on your shoulders. This long fabric entrance cape, love it. Love when Mattel gets to do fabric clothing. It just looks really great. Now the underside of the vest, it's all flat and it's just got some straps right here. It's got 3 straps and they look pretty cool. Now you can really tell this is an older Mattel mold because they use the pegs in there versus the much larger size pegs that they're using now. These ones are a lot smaller. So to get the vest off, you just unclip one, you unclip another, go to this side, and you repeat the process. Now to get this thing off, it's really tricky. You gotta pull this back. So yeah, you gotta pull this whole thing back, get his hair out. And then you just slide it right over his head there. Voila. Now, even though I'm not a huge fan of the open chest look, I think it did turn out a lot better on this Undertaker than the SDCC one. I love the top of it right here because this looks like the front of Darth Vader's mouth. I just think that looks cool. The more grayish black symbol looks really cool. It's got the studs in there that are painted nicely. Taker's tattoos, they all look really, really great. Don't know how accurate they are or even what some of these are. They're just too small and intricate for me to really know. He's got the 2 elbow pads, his gloves with the wrist things right here. These look pretty cool. Really wish Mattel would paint underneath here, but whatever. That's a complaint I've had for years. Now, Taker's trunks and tights, you can't really see the design on them all that well. It is there. It's the same dark gray shade that was used on the chest emblem, and I still really like this design. I mean, it's really cool. Taker had a whole lot of interesting tight designs throughout the year, and I think this is one of the more unique looking ones. And these boots are really freaking cool. It's almost like I think I said this before, it's like an M almost. Not really certain what that is supposed to be, if it's just a scary look that they came up with or whatever. Still, looks badass. I think it would have been cooler if these were Undertaker crosses, just to be honest. The studs on here look really cool. The straps, really great too. And the studs go all the way around the back of the strap on the top one and on the bottom. And these ones aren't painted, but these ones up here are. And the Undertaker has elite articulation. His head can move up and down, side to side, good bobbing action. He's got an ab crunch, waist articulation, shoulder rotates all the way around, upper bicep swivel, bends in the elbow pad does hinder it a little bit, rotates at the wrist. The wrists are actually really loose. I wonder if that's due to the packaging, the way he's kept in there. He's in there pretty tight, so you gotta cut off the rubber bands and kind of rip him out of there. Does pivot in and out at the wrist. Or his legs can go forward that far, out to the side that far. Doesn't go back at all. Upper hip rotation, double bend in the knee, rotates at the boot. Does have a bit of an ankle rock and pivot to it. And his feet do go forwards and backwards, but these are Mattel figures, so these joints are really stiff. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for. What are the differences between our Defining Moments Undertaker and our SDCC 2010 exclusive Undertaker? One of the biggest differences I notice is that the shoulder pads actually drape a little bit lower than what's here on the SDCC version. These ones tend to go outwards a little bit more. This one's, the Defining Moments Taker one, they drape down. The scaling and the chest padding, it's all a shade darker than what's on the SDCC one as well. Now, as you can see, the biggest difference between these two are really in the eyes. You got the white demonic pupils here versus Undertaker's normal eye color here. And versus the two, I have to say this one just stands out a lot more. Even though I do love the way this Taker face looks, I do prefer the one with the white eyes more. I do like, though, that Undertaker has more of a brown tone here in his goatee. It's a little bit more natural looking, whereas this one is the same black color they used on the hair. The chest emblems, you can tell they are a different color. In fact, pretty much this Taker over here, everything's a little bit lighter. The base plastic everywhere is just a shade lighter. The skin tone, he's a lot more paler. This one has a little bit more of a tannish tone to it, but I think the skin tone matches up better with the open chest pieces with his arms and head versus this one. I think this one's just a little off, and you can tell where the difference in the color is. This one being the dark gray. This one is more of it's a light gray, but there's like some blue and green in it. I can't really think of what the color is called. It's the same thing with the design on the trunks and the tights. You can see this one is just a lot lighter. It's a lot easier to make out. And the boots as well. The Defining Moments Undertaker, these are solid black with some little light grayish gunmetal touches in it, and of course the studs are painted silver, versus the SDCC one. The padding part right here, it's got that same color as his chest emblem. This M shape thing here is all silver, so it tends to stand out just a little bit more than the Defining Moments Undertaker. Now you're probably saying to yourself, okay Chase, which one of these two guys do you prefer overall? And honestly, I gotta give it to the SDCC Taker. The color variation, I really like it in terms of the attire. I do like the skin tone more on this Undertaker. Shockingly enough, I like this version more than the pale version. Interesting. But what really sets it off, of course, is the eyes on this one. It's the only Mattel Undertaker to have the white eyes. So to me it's just a little bit more unique, but honestly, I love both of these figures. So if you see the Defining Moments Undertaker out there in the wild, or you see one online, I got mine on Amazon for 17 bucks, so trust me, you can find him cheap. And I know a lot of people were sad that they missed out on this one, especially when collecting these figures really became popular. So definitely pick this one up. And hey, if you get a second one of these guys, you can always customize it to look like this one. Because this guy, he's not cheap. And the last little thing I wanted to point out is I love these gloves. These are not Taker's traditional MMA gloves that you are seeing him wear nowadays. These are more of his biker gloves. They do have some padding in there though. But again, he wore these all the time during the late 90s, during the Attitude Era. And I just think it's really cool because again, with the parts that they're making with this Undertaker, we're that much closer to getting my dream Undertaker, which is the WrestleMania 14 one. So overall, I am actually really happy Mattel was able to re-release the SDCC 2010 Undertaker mold because it's really badass, and I'm pretty certain a lot of people were sad that they missed out on it. So, but compared to other Defining Moments figures, where do you think it stacks up in there? Now to me, I think the Defining Moments Sting was one of the best figures of 2015. And I have to say, even though this is a re-release, the Defining Moments WrestleMania 15 Undertaker is one of the better figures of the year. It's impossible to deny. The molding on it is still excellent. I think the face turned out really good. I did have some paint splotches here and there, but I was able to easily remove it with a really thin sandpaper. Didn't scuff up the figure's face at all. But some quality control could come in handy there, Mattel. Again, I absolutely loved the SDCC Undertaker. So this one with a little bit of a different color variation and the natural looking face, I think this one turned out excellent. So overall, out of 10, I'm going to give the Defining Moments Undertaker an 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely one of the best figures of the year, but if they were going to do a Defining Moments Undertaker, rather than using a reused mold, I would have loved to have either seen an American Badass debut Undertaker from like Judgment Day 2000, or possibly WrestleMania 14 Undertaker. I just really want that. But as it stands, this is still a badass figure. Highly recommended. Alright guys, this was Chase from Burnout Inc. That guy with the gloves. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out all my social media accounts. Follow me if you can. You can reach me at thatguywiththegloves@gmail.com. And I'll see you next time.